Are you curious what makes Olympia, Washington an amazing place to live? Today we're sharing 8 reasons why we absolutely love living in Olympia from a local perspective.
We're Joe and Charity, local realtors, and we help people just like you every week who are considering moving into the Olympia area. If you have questions and would like to know more, just reach out to us on the number provided below.
Number 1 reason why we personally love living here is we are perfectly situated between Portland and Seattle. In fact, it's just a little over an hour drive to Seattle when there's no traffic, and around 2 hours to Portland. But what's really cool about that is you don't actually have to drive. So we can take a train right from Lacey, which is connected to Olympia, down to Portland. And we've done this before. It pops you right down into the middle of Portland, and you're there for restaurants, shopping, all that great stuff. And then you can relaxingly come back to town on the train and drink and eat while you're on there as well. So it's perfect. And then I know we love to go into Seattle, but
because I'm a sports fan, I got the Mariners and the Seahawks, both big teams that I like to follow. But you also have the Sounders, so there's a lot of great options for you. And the WNBA
and Kraken.
And Kraken.
You don't actually have to live in a big city to enjoy all the city highlights, because you just live in this peaceful, beautiful Olympia, quiet town, and then you're ready to do something exciting and fun. Go off to Seattle or Portland.
Absolutely. So the second reason why we love living here is the outdoor beauty and the outdoor activities that you can go do. So we love like the Cascades and Mount Rainier, which we've taken multiple hikes up on Mount Rainier.
Yeah, we absolutely love paradise, which everybody does. And when you go up there,
how could you not?
How could you not even call it paradise? Because it's stunning. In the spring, there's wildflowers blooming. There's a huge historic lodge there, which is gorgeous in and of itself. And another one of our favorite hikes that we've done there is Comet Falls. What happens normally is we get out for one hike, and then we're like, well, there's still time left in the day. And then we try another hike, and then we're like, oh, I think there's still time left in the day. And there's just more and more to explore. In fact, we did that last weekend at Mount St. Helens.
Yeah, Mount St. Helens. So if you're familiar with Mount St. Helens, it's the volcano that erupted in 1980. And what's neat about it is there are so many places to explore that have, geological significance. There's lava caves that you could go in and hike in, and it's amazing.
And also a really cool interpretive trail there that has an area where the lava flowed around the trees, and then the trees burned up. And so there's these perfectly cylindrical tubes that they allow you to climb down in. And if you want to belly crawl for a couple hundred feet and you're not claustrophobic, you can do that as well. We didn't do that, but it was very cool to see.
Yeah. Also, if you're quite adventurous, there is a trail that you can go and take a little sneak peek and look into the crater and get good views of what took place when that mountain erupted. It's pretty amazing.
It's quite amazing. Joe has some great stories about Mount St. Helens because he got to experience it.
Yeah, firsthand. We were driving towards Yakima when the mountain blew up, and with a mountain that size, really not having any idea of how large the eruption was going to be, we drove into the ash cloud, and it encompassed us. We actually had to stay at people's house because they put us up, and they're putting up anybody that was traveling on the road. And then we're able to get back to our trip the next day, driving through ultimately up to about 4 inches of ash that was covering our house and the surrounding community, the Yakima Valley. It's quite an amazing experience. My mom always said, oh, this would be fun. And that's not how my dad experienced it. It was not nearly as fun for him because he was pretty stressed out for all the boys in the car. So it was a pretty amazing experience, I must say. Another part of the outdoors that we love to explore is the Olympic Peninsula. Now, in the Olympic Peninsula, they have the Hoh National Rainforest, which is the only non-tropical rainforest in the world. It is so lush, so green, so gorgeous. It's just some place that you can meander and just pretty much be in awe of the beauty that you are in.
Yeah, that's called, actually, the trail there is called the Hall of Mosses because the moss just pours, basically drips off the trees. And then besides that, the whole area is very lush and green, and there's amazing hikes. We actually went on some hikes up there about a month ago, and then we went back the very next weekend because we loved it so much.
Gorgeous and so beautiful. Yeah, it's alluring, and you get sucked into all of these places and want to go back. And that's really honestly why we love it, because nothing gets boring, because it is so profoundly beautiful. Then, of course, there is Puget Sound. And so out of Olympia, there is so many places to access the water, through little hikes to little beaches, or if you have a boat or want to rent a boat or get onto the water or rent a charter, whatever it might be, you have options to get onto Puget Sound and kayak and paddleboard. It's really amazing.
Yeah, we love being on the water and kayaking. We actually have Airbnb property in Belfair, which is on Hood Canal, which is not very far from Olympia. And as you look on a map, you can tell there's there's a bunch of inlets. And so there's so many opportunities to get in and out on the water, and actually to buy a house on the water also.
Absolutely. Lots of good options for you, depending on what you're looking for.
The third reason why we love living in Olympia is Olympia has its own unique vibe. And it is
a little quirky.
It is quirky. It's artsy. It's granola. And if you don't know what granola means, it means earthy and a love of the earth and, Birkenstocks and
all of those things.
Yeah.
And we really do like that vibe where it's a little more carefree. It's a little more relaxed. You're kind of just, I don't want to say meandering around, because a lot of things do get done because it's a capital city, but the feel of the city is really pretty laid back and it's enjoyable for sure.
Yeah, so relaxed. And actually a lot of clients that move here from out of the area are really drawn to the laid back, earthy, artsy feel. And you can find houses here that reflect that personality, which is also great as well. And then as we were talking about the outdoors, that plays into it because people just love being here and being in the outdoors and being part of nature, basically.
Yeah. Part of the vibe of the city, obviously, is also the state capital. There's some politics that are involved with that, but the main thing that I love about it is its campus. So if you just want to take an afternoon stroll, it is a beautiful campus. It's the same architect that designed Central Park in New York. So the campus is gorgeous, and a view, once again, over Puget Sound.
And it's actually gorgeous inside of the Capitol building. It's stunning. There are different lighting features that were designed by Tiffany. So it's very gorgeous.
Yep.
Another thing about the vibe of Olympia is that artsy part of it. And if there was something that really encapsulates that artsy vibe, it's the procession of the species that happens in the spring here in Olympia. And it's this amazing 6 weeks of people building costumes and creating costumes that represent earth and art. And then they parade through the city. They actually have a daytime parade with all those fantastic costumes and also have a night luminary parade. It's amazing. Fun. It's not anything that you are going to experience anywhere else at all.
And another element that kind of is part of the vibe is the food scene, because we actually find there to be good restaurants, especially for the size of the city. So we're not as big as Seattle. We're not as big as Portland. We already alluded to theirs. If you want to go up to some other restaurants and some great places, for sure, those are within striking distance. However, Olympia has some really great places on their own that we love to go to on a regular basis.
And on the point of vibe with restaurants, we are going to mention Cascadia. Because it is quintessential Olympia. If you come to Olympia to visit to see if you want to move here, make sure you go there because it's got a lot of Sasquatch paraphernalia inside. It's decorated with photos of famous people and unfamous people everywhere. The owners are amazing. Yeah. They are there, I think, almost every day and always with a smiling face. And their menu is huge. They also have a huge vegan menu and gluten-free menu. So it's fantastic and it's our go-to.
Of course, then you have Well 80, which is another one that we like to go to. It's got great breweries, got some great beers, it's got pub food, fun place to hang out, watch the game a little bit. So that's another one that we get.
And tater tots that has, when you're talking pub food and you're talking going out to dinner with Joe Slaughter,
tater tots matter.
And they have several options of tater tots there.
They do. Of course, pizza is probably on a lot of people's top of the food list of things they love, and it is on mine for sure. My top 2 places that I love to go is Greg's Tap House. It has a great pizza. It's got a great selection of beer, and also Vex Pizza, which once again, it's the same way. Great pizza, calzone, great beer options. Wonderful places, just got to hang out a little bit.
If you're wanting to be on the water while you're eating, then you're going to want to go to Row. Row's a great restaurant with a lot of great seafood options, of course, because we're right here on the water. We've got Bud Bay Cafe that's been around here for a long time. They've got a ton of seating that's out on the water. Those are a couple great places that are really fun to just
Oyster House is another one there too.
Oyster House, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. Downtown area on the water. It's really pretty spot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. When we're talking about food, we usually got to talk about brews also. And Olympia is known for its breweries. If you ever heard of Olympia beer back in the day, that kind of set the ball rolling, and there's lots of history to that. But Olympia, Tumwater, and Lacey are all very connected, and Tumwater has a craft district that has some great breweries there and distilleries, and of course you've got some other ones in Olympia too. So it's a very fun place to hang out, eat, and drink good food.
The 5th reason we love living in Olympia is because of the schools. Now, we had a really great experience with Olympia High School. They've got great sports programs. Baseball was the one that my son was involved with, and he absolutely had a great time. They won state while he was there. which was kind of a fun experience, but it's really great coaching staff and great people. And that's not just with our coaches, that's with all of the faculty there. There's so many wonderful teachers and administrators that are there to support the kids and make it really a great experience for them as they launch through that and into adulthood.
And Olympia High School, obviously, we're biased towards because that's where our son graduated from. However, the other high schools in the area are fantastic too. We have friends who have kids in those schools, and they've all had great experiences, both with sports and academics. And besides the public school system, there are some great charter schools and private schools. And we actually have a list of all the private and charter schools in the area. So if you're interested in that, just go ahead and comment below that you'd like that list, and we'd love to get it over to you. The number 6 reason why we love living here is affordable living. Now, I know that some people, if they're coming from a different state, maybe a Midwest state that is a lot more affordable, may not consider Olympia to be affordable. But if you have lived anywhere on the West Coast in a waterfront city, you will know that Olympia is very well priced for being on the water. In fact, in all of Washington State, we are the most affordable waterfront city. So we absolutely love that.
It's 40% less expensive to live here than Seattle.
Yeah.
So it is free. We get the benefit of being close to Seattle and Portland, like we mentioned earlier, but the affordability is so much greater. You get just so much more for your money.
We found affordability here with a fixer-upper. So we purchased a house about 5 years ago, and for 5 years, we remodeled it.
But it was really kind of a labor of love. We always wanted a mid-century modern, and when it came up on the market, it was something that we thought this would be great. And so we bought it, we spent some time, and we turned it into something that we really love and are proud of.
And as we did that, we built equity along the way, and the house is now worth more than twice as much as we invested in it originally, which is very awesome.
Of course, then all around Olympia, the prices are going to vary. You could get much more affordable houses just a little ways out. There's Yelm, there's Tenino, there's Centralia, there's the Tumwater areas. All of them can be a little bit less expensive and right close to downtown proper. They do have options. It's not just like, hey, we're 40% cheaper. Actually, you can go quite a bit cheaper depending if you're willing to go out just a little bit from the main hub.
The 7th reason why we love living here is the climate. And you're probably thinking, why would you love living somewhere where it rains all the time? Because the summers are
worth it.
The best thing.
And it's so lush and it is so green. It really is so beautiful because of the climate. We tolerate obviously some cold days and some rainy down days through the winter. That is absolutely undeniable. However, you can always take a week off and go somewhere south and warm and then come back because the summers here are to die for. It sets itself at its own level of awesomeness, I promise.
In fact, we are almost in the month of August right now. And when we were out hiking last weekend, we were just commenting on how green and lush it is still. You live in an area where you don't get much rain, maybe brown all year, but by August, you're probably going to be quite brown, and it is not. It is just stunningly green. And the weather here in Olympia is warmer than the north cities. Like we've lived all the way up. I lived in Bellingham. We lived in Everett. We lived in Seattle. We lived in Tacoma. And even just being a little bit further south, we get warmer temperatures in the summer. So the summers are perfect here for me. We have a lot of 80-degree days, 70s. We do get up to 100 once in a while, but it's just perfect.
Yeah, that's beautiful. One way to prepare yourself for the weather, if you're not used to it, is to make sure you have every style of hoodie known to man. So you'll have some zip-ups, you'll have some pullovers, you'll have some thick ones, you'll have some shells, you'll have under hoodies that you put another coat over the top. You just want to have the wide array of hoodie options for you. And then that way you'll feel pretty much like an insider. You know, you've been here your whole life because you're fully prepared for all the seasons.
Right. And you get used to it. And it's not like we get a torrential downpour all the time. It's very drizzly. In fact, when you watch the news, there are a lot of different words that they use for the rain here. They say it drizzle or sprinkle or a shower. And then, it's hardly ever a downpour. So you just put your jacket on, whatever thickness you need it, put your hood up because you don't want to bring an umbrella. That's not what we do here.
No, we
Just put your hood up and you go out and you go for your walk and you go for your hike anyway. And it's really not a big deal. It's actually quite lovely. And people that move here a lot of times move here specifically for the mild climate because it's just easier to live in.
And that leads us to the eighth reason that we love living in Olympia, and it is the water. It is so much waterfront, either access or waterfront views or waterfront experiences, from kayaking to paddleboarding to fishing to just getting out with a boat with friends. There is so much on Puget Sound. And for me, I just love it. Like, so the downtown, the marina area, you got restaurants you can go to and hang out and just keep seeing the water. It's so refreshing, so beautiful just to be around.
Some of our favorite places to access the water are Bertha Park, which is up out of downtown Olympia towards Boston Harbor. And that park is just beautiful. You walk through a wooded trail and magically come out on the beach. There's hardly ever anybody there. It's really, really perfect. And then you've got Oxen Park, which has a bunch of very heavily treed trails. It's beautiful, and they have different access points on the beach. Another way that's really fun to get on the water is at Tugboat Annie's, and Tugboat Annie's is a restaurant on the water, and Sunday mornings they have brunch and kayaking. So you can just you don't have to eat your food in your kayak, but you do get to eat your brunch and then go out and kayaks. It's just super, super fun.
And they've got great food.
Yeah, they have really great food. We didn't mention that dog restaurant.
Yeah, I should have mentioned
Tugboat
that.
Annie's is great. Besides the Puget Sound, there are also a ton of lakes in the Olympia area, and you can't go very far before you pass one or another. And not all of them are motorized. Some you can go on with your ski boat. Some are just for, paddling and fishing, but so many opportunities. If you love to be on water, you will not be missing out if you live here.
And then what goes along with the waterfront is the capacity to live on the water. Because we're more affordable, like we mentioned earlier, the houses on the water, you can have more options that might be in your budget. And like Charity mentioned, sometimes it's going to be on a freshwater lake or on Puget Sound itself and one of the surrounding points. There's so many little fingers, if you look on a map, that jet out into the water, jet out into the sound. It just creates opportunities for people to be able to live on the water or with really great views of it.
Yeah, and there are several neighborhoods in Olympia that have their own private beaches.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford a house that's actually on the water, you could afford a house that's like in the $400,000 range where you have private beach access where you can park kayaks and get out easily and have, go for walks on the beach. And yeah, I really don't know of another city that has that many neighborhoods where you have your own private beach access.
It's crazy.
So if you're thinking about making Olympia your home, we would love to help you get started on that process. We've made it so easy for you. Just go ahead and give us a call or text us on the number below. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe and keep watching the next video.